You guys probably thought I wasn't going to make it on today. I kind of wondered that myself. Um, I call myself working on my projects today. Guess what? That's what we're talking about. Projects we put off. Too funny. Well, Popcorn Moments is all about bringing encouragement to strengthen you, to bring hope, to challenge you. And so, I'm, like I said, going to talk about projects that we put off. By the way, how are you spending your weekend? My neighbor was washing his car. I'm like, I wish I could be washing my car or taking it to be washed. I didn't go anywhere. Um, I'm thankful that he keeps his car clean. Sorry, not on my list of projects. Any special projects your way? I have. I can be honest, I have several projects that I've been working on, but that's with regards to business. And even with those, I feel like I'm behind and not keeping up well enough. But I know I need to work on some tasks too around the house. And with us being locked in, or what is it, stay at home, mandatory stay at home, this is a great opportunity to catch up on some projects. Now, here are a few of my projects that I claim I'm going to do. One of them is fitness. I said I'm going to get back into walking around in my neighborhood. That hasn't quite happened yet, even though today I did walk a package to a neighbor up the street. The mailman or UPS or whoever delivered a package that wasn't mine to my house. So I just had to walk it up to the neighbor within the community and walk back. So that counts for something. Another one of my projects that I haven't gotten to yet is my desk. My desk is screaming at me to organize me, give it some attention, but I haven't done that yet. I'll get to it before the weekend is over. I will get to it. You know the drill. But you know what project so many people put off? It's taking care of themselves, taking care of their heart. And so I I shared a little bit about what I do. I do life coaching. Um, I offer life coaching services, but I also have a ministry, Flaming Heart Ministries. And with that, I help people deal with the issues weighing them down, the issues of their heart, which brings freedom and healing to their hearts. And so most of the time people forget about that. They forget about the importance of heart health, spiritual or our heart, our heart. We get weighed down with stuff, and many times we're just plowing through life and we're not taking the time to even deal with whatever has bothered us, offense, traumas, hurts from childhood, etc. And this is not an info. I'm not trying to advertise, so to speak. But when the Lord gave me projects we put off, He was connecting it to the heart. Because I've had some individuals to call or actually schedule appointments that are out of state, and I've been doing virtual ministry sessions with folks all over the world. And so I had one this morning, and it was a blessing. It was amazing. But I'm bringing all of this up because the Lord was highlighting some of the things that we put off that are super important is dealing with our heart. And so anyway, and I forgot to check in before I started talking too much. Can you guys see me? Is this rolling? Because sometimes Facebook Lives actually stop or don't go through. So anywho, hey Sally, how are you doing? So we're talking about projects we put off. And what I've just shared is we need to deal with our heart issues. Many times we can try to go through life acting like we're okay. Hey, I've done it. I've been there. But in reality, we're weighed down. We've been hurt. Um, we've had disappointments, frustrations, maybe even had issues where we're angry with God. And it causes us to lose focus. It causes us to be weighed down. And when we don't deal with those issues, you know, It's like everything is coming at you and you can't focus. So, the passage I want to look at tonight is Proverbs. Let me see, did I even put it down? I have it in front of me. Proverbs. Goodness, I can't believe I didn't. I've pasted the verse. I'll give you the location in just a moment, but let me read it to you. My son, give attention to my words, incline your ear to my sayings. Do not let them depart from your eyes. Keep them in the midst of your heart, for they are life to those who find them and health to all their flesh. This is my highlight verse. Keep your heart with all diligence, for out of it springs the issues of life. Put away from you a deceitful mouth and put perverse lips far from you. Let your eyes look straight ahead and your eyelids look right before you. Ponder the path of your feet and let all your ways be established. Do not turn to the right or the left. Remove your foot from evil. Now, there's a lot of nuggets in this passage here. If we look at verse 23, which is my main verse, it says keep your heart with all diligence, for out of it springs the issues of life. You know what? When we have unforgiveness hanging out in our heart, our mouths are going to say stuff that it shouldn't say. We're going to behave or respond in relationships in ways that are dysfunctional, toxic, etc. But it's guess whose job it is to keep their heart? It's ours. I'm responsible for my heart health, so to speak. Yes, God will help me in these situations, but he's commanded me to forgive. He's commanded us to forgive, and not to just forgive a person one time. Forgive. So we are responsible for our hearts. We are responsible when we begin to make judgments about people and we begin to gossip or to slander. Ooh, that's something going on in that heart that needs to be addressed. And so put away from keep your heart with all diligence, for out of it springs the issues of life. Everything flows out of how your heart is. If it's in a good place, so to speak, freedom reigns. Joy is abundant. Peace is abundant. Things roll off of you and they don't bother you much. But when our hearts are in a not so good place, we are aggravated with the least little thing. It's like placing, a piece of straw on the back of a camel. And now the camel is all broke down. It's the smallest thing that can cause an explosion to take place unnecessarily. And so God cares about our relationships. He cares about you so much. He admonishes us to keep our hearts with all diligence. It's our responsibility to pay attention to what's going on in our heart. Okay? Let's see. Verse 24, put away from you a deceitful mouth and put perverse lips far from you. Now, I just kind of touched on that. We got to pay attention to what's coming out of our mouths. You know what? James says, blessing and cursing, bitter and sweet water can't come out the same fountain. Okay. We bless and then we curse out of the same mouth. That shouldn't be at all. And so when we've got negative words, judgmental, critical, hurtful words that we're throwing at our friends, our families, whoever, the government, any of that, something's wrong with that picture, okay? Because we're called to love. Well, how do you love your enemies? Well, God said we could love our enemies, And so we get to choose. We get to choose how we're going to respond and how we're going to react. And we don't want to partner with negativity because it attracts the wrong stuff towards us. So put away from you a deceitful mouth and put perverse lips far from you. Let your eyes look straight ahead and your eyelids, did I lose myself? Look right before you. You know what? Before I jump to that verse, growing up, my mom, well, I don't know if it was just the age that we grew up in. I don't see it as much, but my mom taught me to be respectful to people. We had to respect, honor grown-ups. It was yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, thank you, please, all of those real manners. Hello. And so that really shouldn't change. When we're dealing with coworkers, family, friends, community, people out in the community, we should be able to be respectful and honoring. My mom would say something else. She would say, "Watch your mouth." Well, that's not much different than keep your heart with all diligence. We got to pay attention to the words coming out of our mouths. Are they life? Are they death? And if we need to make an adjustment, make the adjustment. All right, now back to 25. Let your eyes look straight ahead and your eyelids look right before you. Ponder the path of your feet and let all your ways be established. Do not turn to the right or the left. Remove your foot from evil. So, when we're purposeful to guard our hearts, to pay attention to the things that are potentially weighing us down, we're going to have more focus, more direction, more purpose in our stance. We're going to see results in our lives because our ears are tuned. Do you know it's not a funny thing. I was about to say there's a funny thing. When we've got loads of unforgiveness and judgments and vows and strongholds from lies that we've believed, it weighs us down. It's a drudgery. It brings fatigue. See, unforgiveness actually it hurts your body. It causes a negative reaction in your body. God made us spirit, soul, and body. Okay. And so we are to operate in harmony, all three, spirit, soul, and body. But if we've got issues going on in our hearts that we're not dealing with or addressing, or we feel like, maybe it'll go away, what we're doing is actually hurting ourselves. So focus and walk with purpose. And you do that by dealing with the issues of your heart. So I just want to pray real quick as I close out. Thank you for tuning in. I hope you were able to get something out of this session. Projects we put off. Please don't put off dealing with the issues of your heart. Like I said, I minister to folks all over the country and help them, receive a greater level of freedom and so much clarity to move forward in life. And if you're in need of someone to minister with you, reach out to me and I will be more than happy to help you process through. Father, I just thank you right now for each and every person. I thank you, Lord. I just release and declare your peace over their hearts, over their minds, that if there's any anxiety, if there's any anxiousness, if there's frustration, Lord, I pray your peace. I thank you, Lord, for empowering them to see things differently, to receive the fullness of your goodness, even in the hurt places. Lord, I just declare right now, oh God, your love that brings forth healing, your love that brings acceptance, your love that is acceptance. You are good. You are good. God is amazingly good. He is kind. And he longs for you to walk in a greater level of hope, a greater level of acceptance, a greater level of authority. And so I just bless each and every one of you tonight. I'll be back tomorrow for another popcorn moment. Thank you. Bye-bye.